Have you ever loved something so much that you just want to make it happen every day? Me neither. This is a podcast a day. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Season 2 of a pod a day, Dr. Way, all that great stuff. We do a podcast every single day. It's very self-explanatory. It's basically the name of the thing is the concept of the thing. And, on reflection, year 1 of season 1, let's make it sound more official, shall we? Season 1 of podcast a day. We failed. We failed the name of said pod, which is doing a pod a day. I think we managed 298 episodes. I was, crazy close to 300. Just to get over that line would have been a bit nice. And sometimes I look at footballers' stats, right? Like Frank Lampard or I don't know, Giggs or someone, you'll look at their stats and then you might see a certain stat like appearances and they made like 498 Premier League appearances or they scored like 100 or like 290 goals or 297 goals. And you're like, wow, you were 3 goals away from 300, or you was like 2 appearances away from 500 appearances. It's like, would you not just ask for like a 6-month contract? Just let me make it that round, nice, juicy number. Let me make that number nice and plump, just to round it up. Like, just put me on loan to like Luton Town and let me score like 3 goals across the whole season, just so I can get over the hill of 300. But then, and I'm literally comparing myself doing a podcast, which are mainly less than 20 minutes long, right? I am comparing my stats. If you can even gather any from doing podcasts, I'm comparing my stats to that of professional athletes right now, and I'm aware of that. But let me land. Then in me, I felt, I was only 2 away from 300, and I was just like, it wasn't within me where I was like, I need the 3. It didn't really matter. But as you know, in a year, there isn't 298 days. And that's kind of like, you're wearing it like on your forehead if you're like on track or not on track. Because everyone knows, for the most part, there's 365 days in a year, right? So when you got a podcast a day and at the end of the year, there's 298 episodes. Now, not everyone knows when you started it, sure. And I'm making it even worse now by starting it on the 1st of the year because now it actually does track. But yeah, 298 episodes, 365 days. We were off by like almost 70, which is crazy because I probably got deep into the year. I probably got 6 months in, barely missed a day at all. And that was from going to like Marseille for like a month or whatever. And that was just, oh God, that time feels so long ago now, but doing that, right, and like still keeping on it and still doing this and that, and I was in some French woman's house and we literally never spoke at all, and it's just like, oh, I gotta try and time this when she's not in. How do I even know if she's in? Because we were just trying to avoid each other as much as we could. Like, we were trying to time it. Like, I would time it perfectly to when I put my microwave oven, whatever, pizza in the thing perfectly for when she was like, just so you never had to cross paths, and it's like, I probably hit a thing where like, I had something and then I missed a couple of days and I was like, oh, streak's over. And then it just really made me just spiral out and miss a ton in like the back 9 of the year, closing out, I fumbled the bag. This year we're trying to get, and I actually had something way bigger in mind. Like, I was going to, like, by the way, as I just told you, I did not successfully do a podcast every single day at the first time of asking for that year, right? My idea this time was to do, podcast a day every single day, but go out and do it outside in a different location every day. Like, I'll go out here, I'll do one there, because I always like podcasts when they're outside and it's like different, and it's like, I just like that, and like, oh, that would be an actual challenge. It'd force you to get out and stuff. And I was gonna try and like at least get myself 2 weeks ahead of like, so 14 episodes, so I had room to miss a couple here and there. And it's like, that's just, you didn't think about how long a year is. Think about how many things will just show up. You are no way going to 365 different locations across the year, and it's like, if this was the only thing I was trying to do in the year, it's like, fine, maybe you could get that done on top of like whatever the other fucking commitments are, like, a job and shit like that. But I'm also trying to do like the football, like Chelsea related content channel, and then like the Formula One kind of content channel, and then my main channel, which is like a movie talks about movies and shit. So like, be realistic. It ain't happening. And I recorded 2, and then I was just kind of like, no, because if this, it's just you're just gonna like just try and actually get through a year and do one every single day. So that's what we're actually gonna do, a podcast every single day. And that was 5 minutes of me basically talking about nothing. But you know, that's how it is. I actually got some topics here, so you got stuff to go into. My whole Twitter feed has just been filled with darts, which, you know, it is something I didn't realize. I don't know if it actually is popular or it's just like a Twitter thing. People in like, I never hear anyone talk about darts. I don't. Darts definitely is not one of the biggest sports in the world, in this country, or even a sport. I don't think it is a sport. I don't want to get into this debate right now, but here we go. I'm brave enough to do it because there's no one actually here to debate me back, so I'm perfectly comfortable putting myself out there and saying it's not a sport. And to throw that back, because I throw it back. No, but to like throw that back at me or whatever. Some people would probably say, well, do you think like archery is a sport and other stuff like that? And then like at first I was like, oh, you got me there type thing. But the only reason I think that is because it's in the Olympics, so I'm trained to think it is a sport. But it's like, yeah, I guess no, I don't think archery is a sport either. I think, right, now me saying out of the gate, archery, darts, some of these things, I don't even think they're sports. It's like, it's not that I think, oh, they're just pointless crap, then easy. I'm not saying it's easy. I just think there should be another name for it. Like, I don't think darts or archery, in my mind, and maybe in the actual definition of sports, which is, by the way, what matters, not my definition, right? Maybe it does fall under it. But in my mind, sports, number one thing is there has to be a certain level of athleticism to it, right? Now, these like hand-eye coordination or like precision type things are still impressive, but I feel like they should have their own name and come under their own category that isn't sports. You know what I mean? Anyway, because, you know, like, you could argue golf then. Would you put golf in a sport or in this new category I'm inventing? Golf, I don't know. Would I say golf is a sport? It's tricky. It's tricky. I know for a fact, I feel like someone who's big into golf or a golfer could explain to me why golf is a sport. And I feel like there's maybe like, same way of Formula One, right? Someone can talk to you about Formula One and tell you more about like the G-force and like the impacts on the body, and you get out of the car and you're like exhausted and stuff, like stuff that you might not immediately think about if you don't fuck with Formula One, right? You could tell someone something to like make it feel like more of a sport to that person. Darts, I'm very confident there isn't anything anyone's going to tell me that makes me go, oh, I didn't expect that. Oh, really? Oh, okay, whoa. But I feel like golf, maybe they could tell me something about it, you know? But then again, I'm leaning more not a sport. I'm leaning more like the new category I'm coming up with. But anyway, for some reason at the moment, I'm triggered because people are enjoying a thing. Basically, people like darts and they're gassed by it, and that's triggering me. And I don't know why. It's just spinning my head. It's just like such a weird subculture. Is that the right thing? It's like, you know, it's like you throw the stick at the circle and it sticks in the board and that, and then like you watch it and it looks like it's in this huge kind of like venue that is like based off of a pub and everyone's just drinking beers. And I feel like in between, I've never really watched it, but in my mind, as the other guys throwing darts, they walk back to a little table and have like a pint of Guinness, and then they step up and do it. And it's basically, I guess it's fun in the sense that it's different. It's not like a bunch of fit people impressing you with like high performance. It's more like high performance, but like we're performing at a very high level, but in between each shot we're just going and having a beer. Like there's something kind of like the juxtaposition of that, I guess, is kind of interesting, I guess. But it's like, yeah, it's like usually like beer belly kind of like pub goers who go up, and it's basically just you watch someone throw a dart and then they pull these faces like, you know, they're getting into it and they're throwing the darts. So I'm like, I am impressed by the fact you can like throw this stick into that tiny little section like 3 times in a row. Like even like that's something like I see that, and that's very common. That's not like a bicycle kick or like something that's relatively rarish to happen. It's like It happens almost every round or whatever. Like they'll throw it into the little tiny rectangle and get 3 darts in there. I'm impressed by that every time. Or like to throw something into a bullseye and then someone could get it in again. But you know, I'm also impressed by someone solving a Rubik's cube in like 4 seconds. It's just, it doesn't mean I immediately think it's a sport. And people getting so gassed by like, oh my god, sensational chills. It's like I don't know if I get that. It's hard for me to back anyone as well because they all kind of, you know, they're all like middle aged, you know, Homer Simpson types. But look, you guys go for it, man. You guys enjoy your darts. I'm not gonna, you know. I understand this is a me thing. I'm being a Grinch. This is like showing up and everyone's having fun on Christmas, and I'm like, why? I get it. I get it. I'm in the wrong. I understand. I'm gonna go to bed tonight, and 3 darts ghosts are gonna visit me and show me the past, future, and present of my life and the darts history. And you know, I'm gonna wake up a new changed man, and you know, be running through the streets. You know, no longer humbugging. But for now, it's one of the, I'm actually, it's not even just darts, like, because it's not like a quote unquote like standard as you would expect sport with, you know, people in shape. Because even like tennis and or like rugby, sometimes I'll see clips and it'll be like, oh my god, this is exceptional. We've never seen anything like this. This is one of the greatest bits of skill we've seen in years. And I watch it, and I'm just like, it's like a guide. It's like it just looks like such nothing to me. I'm like, that, you know what I mean? Like, I even sports I don't really watch or like, I want to be able to see a clip on Twitter or everyone getting gassed by this insane thing that just happened, right? And I want to still be able to look at that and go like, oh, that's, oh, that's impressive, that's cool. Like in tennis, I get it, and I understand tennis is like one of the hardest sports, and physically it's hard, and it's very technically difficult as well, and stuff. But to watch it as a spectator, you don't get that. Like you watch someone pull off this crazy hard shot, and it's just like it doesn't look that impressive, you know. In basketball or something, I don't watch basketball. I can very much imagine seeing a clip of something and being like, "Oh, rad! Oh, that's a sick thing." I feel like in football you get that all the time because immediately already football is like already you're kicking around up something with your feet, which is already kind of like I guess rogue, trying to control something with your feet. Like you have to learn to, like with your hands. You don't. I guess you probably you're like subconsciously learning it, but you're just using your hands all the time. So like you haven't got to really learn to play basketball to just be able to like throw and catch a ball and the basics of it. Whereas football, it's like even just to like pass it from one person to another person are like basic things you have to learn because you're not going around. We're not apes. Well, I guess removed, I guess in some sense, but like we're not. You know, we don't use our feet to like open to like write letters and like wrap presents and shit, right? So it's very easy to see something and be like, whoa, that's like, I'm impressed by that, even if you're not into football. I don't know. I don't know. And I am opening my mind to more sports than just football. I'm trying not to be just a football guy. I feel like recently, obviously, few years, Formula One is something I've gone into. Quite enjoy some athletics when that comes around. Um, you know, a bit of world championships, bit of Commonwealth Games, bit of Olympics every 4 years. I don't mind that. But I think apart from that, I don't know. I don't know. Not many sports. I feel like basketball would be the next one that would maybe that I could fall into, but that's probably the next closest I'd be willing to give my time to. Probably. I thought the idea of baseball at a point, but then I just realized it's like one of the slowest things in the world, and it's just like it's hard as well with American sports. 'Cause I'm so used to like English commentary and the way English sports and European sports are set up and the way it's like broadcast to you, that it can be like jarring to the system to like go into watching like an American sport, and it's just like the commentary is so different in the style of it and the way it's broadcasted in the advertisement and just like so much shit about it. It's like it can be jarring. But yeah, no, and also, oh yeah, in the darts, they got this, the thing that everyone is actually talking about, which I just completely don't even give a fuck about. They got this guy called, what's his name? I think it's like Luke Littler or something. And he's like, this is what I mean. Darts will age you. You know, you play most sports, people look at Cristiano Ronaldo and he's like 38 or whatever, or something like that. Thiago Silva or someone, you're like, wow, they look so young. Ronaldo's probably a bad example because he's probably had a bunch of work done. But like to an extent, if you're playing football, I know it tells to Paul Merson or like Paul Gascoigne or someone, right? But like, if you're playing football and you're not doing any like heavy drinking or drugs or whatever, right? You're playing a sport, you're running around, you're being active, you're probably gonna look a little bit better for it, maybe, I don't know, right? But darts, it's like it's a poison chalice type. You take it, and it's like I don't know what the money's like in darts as well, but you take it like I want to do this. Those beers, because it's a you kind of have to drink. It's a social, like you got to drink if you're gonna do darts. I don't know if there's any, so I guess Luke Littler is because he's 16 and they're not gonna let him drink at events and shit. He's probably doing it in his spare time, but not anyway. But like, no one's really completely sober unless you're not allowed to drink, right? So it will age you. And this guy apparently is 16 and he looks like he could be my dad. So there's that. That's crazy as well. There is something interesting about watching it. In the same way that it's interesting to like, it would be interesting to like look at, you know, I don't know. It'd be interesting to watch. I can't even think of an example, but like to go to the zoo and see like anteaters just walking around doing their thing, like, oh, that's interesting. You don't really see that, but it's not like interesting in the sense that I want to go and watch that every day. You know, I'll see it on Twitter and I'll see a little moment. I'll be like, okay, I like that, but that's anyway. That's all. Put a doctor away, all that good stuff. Hopefully we actually, no, even if we don't get 365, hopefully we are like only 10 off and it's nothing crazy. But yeah, put a day doctor, all that good stuff. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye.